sticking with India and sticking with the issue of our dealings with India. Now, there's this interesting, since the Mumbai attacks, there's been this interesting exchange. I think I want to call it, and I like the way it sounds, that's why I call it what it is, dossier diplomacy, right? We've been threatening a dossier of late, they've been sending us dossiers. Now, on November 3rd, 2009, you were in a press conference with Major General Athar Abbas. You guys usually do a press conference together. You were updating everyone. Now, this was an interesting press conference because this is when you guys went ahead and said that there was proof of Indian hand, Indian involvement in South Waziristan. This is when the security forces had just captured Kaniguram. And this was on November 3rd, and went on to say that security forces have found substantial evidence of Indian involvement for assisting terrorists in South Waziristan. DGISPR Major General Athar Abbas said, it mentions you that you were present, Indian literature and weapons under the use of terrorists have been recovered, etc., etc. And you guys said that you would send it to the Foreign Office, which would send it onwards to the Indians. Now, another paper that day, by the way, called it concrete proof of Indian role in Waziristan, quoting you guys together in a joint press conference. The next day, November 4th, India stepped up its game. India said that it is not involved in Pakistan at all. This was Nirupama Rao, the Foreign Secretary. Furthermore, that day, another Indian headline was, Pak says it's yet to give Indian terror link proof. They almost started premeditating that was coming. The next day, November 6th, Pak likely to hand over dossier on involvement to India. These are all Indian headlines. And then, the next day, November 7th, Pakistan continued its promise as well. And this was the Foreign Office saying, we'll confront India with proof of involvement of terrorism. However, after that, radio silence from Pakistan, radio silence from you guys, radio silence from the Foreign Office, and in fact, just yesterday, 17th of November, this was the headline in the major daily of Pakistan. India hands over 7th dossier to Pakistan. So, a month ago, Pakistan found proof of Indian involvement, promised to send proof to India, yet India is still sending us dossiers on Mumbai, but we aren't sending them dossiers on this war which is going on right now. What's going on?
Look, such things which are not, this is not a good practice to highlight such things in press. You have to be responsible. If India is doing such thing with the media and putting up dossiers through media to the government of Pakistan, that is not helping them. There are proper forums. In that press conference, which I and General Athar, we were together there, and yes, we said it that we have recovered ammunition, arms, some medicine, some literature from from India or Indian origin equipment over there, and some other evidence over there. We will hand over to the Foreign Office, and Foreign Office will take up at appropriate level. That is the proper way to move forward.
But they didn't.
But if you, no, they might have taken the proper course, but that is not necessary that we should go to the press first and then take the
Nobody's asking you to go to the press first,
But this is,
Minister.
they're going to the press first.
Okay, then are you saying that Pakistan has handed over evidence?
I exactly
And the press doesn't know?
I exactly don't know, because that is the job of the Foreign Office. They do it. We and the military establishment or the government, whatever we fight, we find something, we hand it over. This issue is being handed over by the Foreign Office, or they.
I understand, Minister, but put yourself in my shoes. You're sitting on this side of the table. You've got a list of headlines. You've got Minister Kaira. You've got General Athar Abbas. Everybody promising that we have proof and we'll send it to India. We'll send it to Delhi. Yet nothing goes to Delhi. In fact, stuff is coming from Delhi. Complaints, dossiers are coming from
Can you turn the paper and read our statement? We said that we will hand it over to the Foreign Office. They will take the appropriate route and they will take appropriate time at the appropriate time. We don't go to the media with such things. We don't want to play with the media. We want to play with the facts. We want to narrate with the facts. We want to place the facts on the table and discuss with Indians. And naturally, at the appropriate level, that is the Foreign Office which will determine that at the time and the appropriate forum.
Okay, okay, fair enough. All right, now, Junaid Khan from Peshawar goes on, and let's take another twist, this time regarding he calls it double dealing politics. That's what he calls it, but he keeps it very constitutional. It's a very impressive question. He says that wearing two hats was once an exception, but it has now become a rule in modern day Pakistan, especially within the PPP. First, we have the president, who is also the co-chair of the PPP. This brings into question Article 41, that the President, and I quote, that the President shall represent the unity of the Republic. Being the President of Pakistan and being the co-chairman of the PPP does not reflect necessarily the unity of the country. Then he says, gives the example of Governor Salman Taseer. He says that the Governor of Punjab is also wearing two hats. He's the stated CEO of several companies, which is a violation, according to him, of Article 103, Clause 1. And then he mentions you. And he says, and now we have Mr. Kaira, who is both Information Minister as well as the Governor of a territory, whose change of status is rapidly accelerating as a hot topic both in Pakistan and the region. Now, even though constitutionally you can be, you are not in violation of the Constitution. He's citing two other very important guys who are. So you're safe in this one. But his question's interesting. He says, when can we see the PPP's leaders stick to one job and not accrue portfolios?
Actually, there is a perception. When we discuss about politics or democracy or establishment of the parties over there, we always quote, or we have an example in our mind about the Western politics or Western parties over here. In our countries, not only Pakistan, in our region, in the developing democracy, the personalities are dominating, not the parties. As far as this thing is